There are 2 full-term seats and 1 short-term seat open on the Big Bear Airport District Board of Directors. Appreciate all of you for being here. I'm going to just introduce you by name, and then in your statement you can give a little bit more about yourself. Andy Acosta, Stephen Baker, Alan Hay, the 2 Mr. Kellys are not present, Wes Krause, Mary Kay Lindstrom, and George Mazzacane. Thank you all for being here. We're going to start from left to right with the opening statement. So, Mr. Acosta, would you start for us?
All right, Andy Acosta. I've been in Big Bear since 1969. I'm running for airport board because I'm, excuse me, what is that? Yeah. Okay. Running for the airport board just for transparency and responsible government. That's what I got.
Thank you. Mr. Baker?
My next?
You get 1 minute.
Thank you. Wow, nice turnout. Thanks everybody for coming. Really appreciate it. My name is Stephen Baker, and I've been involved with the Big Bear Airport since 1995. First by taking flying lessons, then joining the Civil Air Patrol in 1996. I was a contractor of record constructing the Civil Air Patrol Friends of the Disaster building. As a general contractor living and working in Big Bear for 31 years has enabled me to listen, understand, and reach workable solutions. I support a good neighbor policy, dedication of the Big Bear Airport Pilots Association, Young Eagles, Youth Aviation Adventure, and the Civil Air Patrol Cadet programs introducing our youth to possible aviation careers. Big Bear Airport is a valuable asset to the people of Big Bear by having an air ambulance service, Mercy Air, resources for firefighting aircraft, and the men and women serving in the military. Financial responsibility is crucial.
Sorry, your time is up, Mr. Baker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, see me afterwards.
Mr. Hay, can we have your opening statement?
Certainly. My name is Alan Hay. I'm approximately a 30-year resident of Big Bear. Moved up here, basically came up to go hiking up Cougar Crest and ended up leasing my first house and then buying one within a year. I'm a former military Air Force veteran. I'm a student pilot. I am a resident at the, I'm a tenant at the airport. I have a couple of home-built aircraft that I built in my garage and finally was able to get a hangar. I believe that we need to sustain our airport and grow it in a very responsible way. We need to make sure that our finances are in correct order. We do have a lot of projects that are on the books that need to move forward, but they need to move forward in a proper manner and some proper staging atmosphere. There's a couple of issues that need to be clarified and cleared up at the airport with the museum and our good neighbor policy, as Stephen mentioned, and that's about all I have for right now without going over time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Krause?
I'm Wes Krause, and I thank the Chamber for inviting us and creating this, and everybody for attending. I'm most of my adult life in the mountains. I'm a graduate of Rim of the World. Okay, that's good. That's lived in Wrightwood, and I've been in Big Bear the last 11 years. As the paper pointed out, I spent most of my adult career in criminal justice, teaching, and practitioner, and as a bureaucrat, not a politician. But keep in mind, please, that bureaucrats are the people that get the stuff done. I spend a lot of time on committees, and I know how to work with people and get the ball rolling, get to the end. 52 years as a pilot, and love from aviation in the airport.
Thank you. Ms. Lindstrom, your opening statement?
Hi there, I'm Mary Kay Lindstrom, and thanks for coming to listen tonight. There's nothing I would like to promote more than airport and community camaraderie, consideration, and understanding. My history is long with the airport. I've been on staff, and I have been the chief pilot at the airport. I have a varied background in aviation and in business, having opened and successfully run an optometric practice, which continues today under new ownership. I have several thousand hours in the air, landing at airports, throughout the U.S., including Alaska, and as a footnote, I was the first woman invited to join the Men's Evening Rotary Club. I believe I will be able to bring the airport staff, board, and community, which are all sometimes at odds, to work together. We all know there is more than one way to approach an issue, come to agreement, and not waste valuable energy and time with tension and conflict.
Thank you. Your time is up. Mr. Mezakane, can you share your opening statement?
Thank you. My name is George Mazzacane, a 13-year resident of Big Bear, ex-pilot. I filed paperwork to run for the election for the board of directors for only one reason, and that was to address what I thought was an elephant in the room of the board of directors, and to change the makeup of that board of directors so the elephant would not be there. Later, I realized that there were 7 people running for the board. It was not my intention to dilute the vote to accomplish the goal that I had set out for. And so I'm going to be a different candidate than the other people on the board in asking people not to vote for me and instead vote for the people I'm going to recommend get on the board of directors. So thank you for listening to me. It's going to make a problem answering the questions. We'll deal with that when we get to it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for your opening statements. I'm going to start by asking the first question of Mr. Acosta, then the second of Mr. Baker, and down the line. But everyone will have an opportunity to answer the question, not rebuttal with the person that just spoke, but just answer the direct question. So the first question. Making good decisions and having integrity are 2 important traits for any board member. Does your personal history reflect those qualities? And if so, give examples.
Yes, it does. My history of making, I've run my own business since 1980, and I make decisions every day that involve money, a lot of money. And that's the trait that I have offered the board. I have no conflicts. I have no issues. I'm not a flyer. I'm interested in planes. Been in a lot of planes, but I'm not tied in with the airport as far as anything. So I would be like a very neutral person on the board. Basically business, strictly business. Just make sure it works right. Transparency for the public to come in and they want to see something. It'll be right there. Get it back to where it's supposed to be. Running, proper government agency where everything's right there in paper, black and white. And biggest thing is to serve the community 100%. Make sure helicopters can land, take injured people out, make sure people get in and out. I mean, it's an airport, that's what it's for.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer the question?
Yes,
Do you want me to read it
yeah,
again?
repeat it.
Making good decisions and having integrity are 2 important traits for any board member. Does your personal history reflect those qualities? Give examples.
Being a businessman in the Big Bear Valley for 31 years, I've had to make those decisions continuously. Financial responsibility is very important. Integrity is very important, especially when you're dealing with clients, contracts, scheduling a job, and making sure that you honor your commitments. I think those are very important attributes for any director on any board. So yes, I feel like I'm qualified to meet that criteria.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm basically a say what you do what you say kind of person. If you're gonna go out there and say you're gonna do something, get it done. That's pretty much my philosophy in life. I've been a general contractor myself. With integrity is extremely important in that field to have any kind of success. And I moved on to commercial construction, where I handled $100 million projects, schools, and such. I built shopping malls and things like that. And I would have been as successful as I was if I did not have the integrity in which I hold. And again, the board members need to have that ability to say what they do and do what they say.
I started my career with Seminole County in 1970 as a probation officer trainee. When I retired in 2004, I was a deputy chief. That's the second highest position in the department, 1,200. I didn't get there without a reputation for honesty and integrity and the ability to do the job. And that honesty and integrity cost me at times throughout that career. Sometimes you speak up the truth, and that doesn't go well with your bosses and with others. But that's what's important, and that's what my parents taught me. That's it.
Thank you.
I'll answer this as a candidate, which might seem silly to you, but it seems to me that the important thing in the board makeup is being sensible. And in my opinion, the direction it's headed now is not sensible. And I would ask you to use your good judgment when you cast a vote for the sensible.
Thank you. Mr. Baker, this is going to be directed at you in the same format anyone else will have an opportunity to answer. Will you have any known conflicts of interest by serving on this board? By that, we mean, do you own companies or land or represent others that may create a conflict of interest for you?
I have no known conflicts of interest. I do, however, own an airplane, and I do lease a hangar at the airport. This issue has been brought to the board on several occasions, and our legal counsel has advised us that we have no conflicts of interest. So no, I don't foresee any problems in that area, and I don't have any ownership of any land or anything that's connected to the airport.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question?
Along with Mr. Baker, I am a tenant at the airport. I have a couple of airplanes I've built that are there. I do not own any land that's associated with the airport. I don't believe I have any conflict of interest. I am a member of Explorer Patrol, which is represented at the board every once in a while. It's called up on the roll. And that's the only thing I can think of that might even be close, but that's, if it becomes an issue, I can always abstain from any of the decisions that have to be made in that area.
Anyone else?
Same here. I have an aircraft and I have a hangar. And it does present a conflict of interest, and there is a fair political practices process for removing that conflict or getting business done with that conflict. And we'll do that. And it's important that the public attend our meetings to make sure that we are doing things properly and without special interest or our personal conflicts of interest.
I do not have any conflict of interest with the exception of I do own an airport hangar. And I own an hangar.
Okay, thank you. No? Okay. Yes.
I have no conflicts of interest or no property, nothing to do with the airport whatsoever.
Thank you. Okay, the next question is going to be directed, yes. Yes, would you like to answer that question?
I didn't get a chance to answer that last one. I thought maybe you forgot me.
I didn't see your hand raised, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to pass anyway.
You're just giving me a
I
hard
just want to
time.
take it for granted.
Yeah. Thank you. Mr. Hay. Were you involved in the decision to hire a consultant to assist with board training? If so, was the training beneficial in your opinion?
I had nothing to do with on that consultant. I thought it was a good idea that they brought one in. It was an unfortunate avenue to have to take, but I believe it had a positive effect upon the board and the way in which certain members acted or have been presenting themselves. Other than that, I have no opinion. I'm not on the board, so I do not make I don't make decisions on that. I do recommend that they do move forward with it because I thought it was a good idea.
Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Krause?
I'll take ownership on that one. I made that recommendation following the censure investigation and the motion for censure. I didn't feel that it was going to be productive. I thought we could find somebody that could help us through our issues, and we did. And the board has been far more productive since that consultant was hired and since we set up some rules for our discussions and our processes. So I think it was money well spent, and the board has been productive since we did it.
Okay. Mr. Baker?
I've served 2 terms as a director of the Big Bear Airport, and we are continually improving our skills as directors. And one of those is having a workshop, hiring a consultant to improve our skills as directors, working together, using the word synergy, trying to work together to reach a common goal. And I think it's very important. I think that, every time that you go to a meeting, it's a learning experience. And you have to remember exactly what's going on, and you have to apply that to the next meeting. And courtesy, integrity, and respect are the key elements of any director. So hiring consultants is a good idea.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Ms. Lindstrom?
I can and I do work well with others sitting on the board now. As there is mutual respect, I attended a board meeting yesterday which went so smoothly under our leadership of Steve Castillo, our leader. It was a pleasure to be there, so we certainly are on the right track.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we ready for the next question? This will be directed at Mr. Kraus. We understand there are plans for expansion and renovation of the Big Bear City Airport. Can you please explain the plans for this project? Expansion and renovation?
The renovation would be of the terminal building, and that's a real challenge. And I think I was quoted in the paper as citing that as the biggest challenge we have. We inherited that building. The half of it's unusable, and we had estimates for reconstruction and renovation of that building. The actual cost came in from the contractors much higher, and frankly, right now, it's almost an overwhelming issue. I'm not sure what the resolution will be. There is no plans for expanding a runway. There's no plans for expanding commercial services, if that's some of the public's concerns. The possibility of building new hangars is out there, but again, the terminal building is really the big issue right now.
Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Baker?
The terminal building renovation process has been going on for several years. We inherited that building, and it's a perfectly good building. It's been seismic retrofit. We did have sticker shock, and we advertised for bids. So it's just like any household, you have a checkbook, and you have to, just because you have checks doesn't mean you have money. So you have to stay within that budget. And so we're going to have to draw back, fight, and punt, and figure out just exactly how we can afford this. But I think the terminal renovation project is worthwhile continuing.
Thank you. Anyone else like to answer that question?
I'd like to, if you wouldn't mind, I concur with Mr. Baker. It was a very large sticker shock to see that happen. It can go forward, but it just needs to be phased differently. So it is a project that can happen. It just may take a little bit longer than what was expected in the first place. But it is an excellent project. They hired a great consulting group, great design firm, and it can happen, but it will take a little bit longer than what it's budgeted, and it needs to stay in budget.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, next question. We'll start with Ms. Lindstrom. How would you address concerns about increased airport noise?
You asking me?
Yes.
Could you you repeat the question?
Sure. How would you address concerns about increased airport noise?
Increased airport.
Noise.
There's noise everywhere. If you run around this valley, you're gonna hear Harley Davidsons, you're gonna hear the trees making noise through the wind. The airport makes noise. It is part and parcel of an airport. People who are afraid of the noise or were not happy with the noise should not have come into the area where the airport is. The airport was probably there first.
Thank you. Anyone else like to answer that? Mr. Kraus?
What I understand is the increased noise is probably mostly from the military aircraft. And I'll point out that our new general manager is retired military, retired lieutenant colonel. He can probably speak to the military better than anybody else can. That said, I think we also have to recognize the reason the military is using this airport is those are our young men and women who are going to Afghanistan. Afghanistan is in the mountains. Afghanistan is high. Aircraft operate differently at altitude than they do at sea level. They're here basically to learn the skills they need to go over there and survive. So I think a certain level of tolerance is necessary, but we need to do also everything we can to minimize that. I recognize that.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address that question? Mr. Baker?
Thank you. When I hear military aircraft flying in and out of Big Bear, I hear the sound of freedom. Something that our young men and women are dedicating their lives to ensure that we have the right to be here tonight and to vote and to live our lives the way we see fit. When I hear the air ambulance take off, I'm knowing that somebody's life is going to be saved. So those are the two sounds that I think that are quite tolerable. We are instigating programs, we put it on our website, that pilots respect our area and land and take off between the hours of 7 and 10 p.m. So we are working towards trying to reduce the noise. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not, but it's not something that we're letting go or taking lightly.
Thank you. Anyone else like to answer that? Yes, Mr. Acosta?
My answer to the airport noise is the same as the lady at the other end is, you buy a house near a chicken farm, you're going to smell some chickens. And you're probably going to see them too. So if you don't like the noise of the airport, move to the other side of the valley, because it's like Mr. Baker and everybody else has said, we should be honored that the military can come and practice with the ospreys and everything else to come into this valley. And it's actually quite great to sit and watch them come in and come out and do their thing. And sometimes they stop and eat lunch at the restaurant. And, all I can say is that people complaining now, they're glad Pete the pasta burner's not here anymore.
Thank you. Anyone else like to answer that question? Okay. The next question is going to be directed at Mr. Mazzacane. You can choose not to answer it if that's your desire.
I would like to yield to the other candidates.
Okay. Then the next question will be, again, with Mr. Acosta.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the acquisition and closure of Bear City Park and how it may affect surrounding properties?
Well, the Bear City Park issue, and I've been here a long time, it's a safety issue. The FAA and everybody else that are paid professionals determined that it's not safe because of the crashes that were in the park and stuff like that. So I support the park being closed and relocated. They have many other pieces of property CSD owns, so they could put the park on and move it. But safety to the visitors and safety to the families is number one. And that's not a good place for a park at the end of the runway. So I definitely think the park should not be there, and it should be safety zoned out. And every airport has a safety zone. And I mean, some of the houses are even too close on that end of the runway. And I was here when they topped all the trees 45 years ago. Planes used to run right into the trees coming in, changing wind shear or whatever. So, no, parks don't belong near an airport.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer the question? What a surprise. Mr. Baker would like to answer the question.
I think Mr. Acosta hit the nail on the head. Safety is one of our first and foremost concerns. Now, the park, we've been in negotiation with the Park and Recs, the county of San Bernardino, for 7 years. The money went directly to the parks with the idea that they were going to relocate and build a new park and baseball diamond to service the community. The FAA likes the idea that we have an RPZ, which is what we call a runway protection zone. We're working very hard with the Historical Society to ensure that we don't landlock them. I mean, there's a great group of volunteers, and they work very hard, and they really appreciate everything that they do. So it's something that has not been forgotten. We're working a good solution.
Thank you. Anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Hay?
As a student pilot, one of the first things that is drilled into you is safety, 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 safety. Safety of yourself, safety of the aircraft, safety of the surroundings, and the general public. And the park acquisition, I believe that the parks actually came to the airport offering the land at first. It wasn't that the airport went after the land. The FAA had determined that that land was not feasible as a park and should be a safety zone. And then it was the Parks Department came to the airport, and the airport was kind enough to say, yeah, well, we will purchase that property from you and be able to provide you with the income to be able to move on to another sector. Again, it's a safety issue, and it's very important. And working with the Historical Society and making sure that they are not landlocked is a very important issue, and it should be addressed by the airport board because it's part of the community in that general area.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Krause?
Just quickly, the end of an airport, the end of a runway is a bad place for a park. We will work with the Historical Society, they will not be landlocked. And the purchase of the park gave money to Parks and Rec to go somewhere else to create a park that would be usable. That hasn't occurred, but it's really beyond the control of the airport.
Thank you. Anyone else?
We are trying very hard to work with the Historical Society to come to a mutual agreement with regard to the land and the parking. Steve addressed the portion of the RPZ. We need to have that. That's a FAA mandatory part for a runway airport. And I defer to Steve with the other things that he did say with regard to that.
Thank you. Okay, our next question. We'll go to Mr. Baker. When was the last increase in hangar rates, and is there a way for the public to access the history of hangar rate increases?
Well, that's a controversial issue, that's for sure. We are supposed to have a revenue lease committee meeting once a year to go over all leases, whether they be hangars, offices, commercial businesses. And I've always looked at it this way. What is the cost of maintaining a hangar? How much is that costing us? Are we required just to raise hangar rents because we have to? Or do we figure out what the expenses are and try to adjust the expenses? The airport's not really in business to make a profit. Okay, we're a public agency. And so if there's no need to raise it, that doesn't mean that I'm opposed to it, and we're definitely going to take a look at it.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Hay?
I'm not opposed to, as a new, basically a new tenant there, I'm not opposed to hangar rate increases. It needs to be done in a responsible manner. As Mr. Becker says, it's really important that we take into the consideration the economic value of the area and the expense that it costs the pilots. Many of us are fixed income people. I'm retired. I'm a disabled veteran. I live on a very small income, but my passion is flying, and I've saved all my life to be into this position that I'm in. So we need to be aware of the economic impacts that would happen at the airport with raising the hangar rents, and would it force the guys that live here full-time out of the things to just part-timers that are gonna be there for, 5 days a year?
Thank you. Mr. Kraus?
The board agreed to discuss this issue right after the first of the year. It was postponed to the first of the year, one, because most of the hang rents had been paid in July, so adjusting them now would have affected nothing. And the other was recognizing that we were having an election, we'd have new board members that should be involved in that process. There is a way that we can make a simple adjustment to the benefit of paying in advance to raising revenue significantly right off the bat. I think we need to have a market analysis of what the real value of those hangars are. We don't want to end up with vacancies by raising the rents and actually lose money in the process of losing occupancy.
Thank you. Would anyone else?
I'm wondering how many people know that everyone who has a hangar at the airport pays taxes on that hangar. That's also an expense that we all bear.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. The next question is going to be directed at Mr. Hay. In your opinion, should board members recuse themselves from voting on issues that may present a potential conflict of interest for them?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
In your opinion, should board members recuse themselves from voting on issues that may present a potential conflict of interest for them?
Oh, if it's a conflict of interest, most definitely. If it proposes a conflict of interest, you need to back away from it and allow other people to make those decisions. There are, I believe in the rulings or the rules, there are certain guidelines that can be followed if it has to become to make a majority. But if it's a simple one out of the group, yeah, I do believe that they should recuse themselves.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Baker.
Before every board of directors meeting, we receive an agenda. And that's usually put out 72 hours prior to the board of directors meeting. Each director is responsible to go through the agenda and ascertain if or not there's a conflict of interest. We have legal counsel that we can call to guide us along those lines. So it's the responsibility of a director to determine whether or not there's a conflict of interest. Talk to the general manager, or talk to legal counsel. If there is a conflict of interest, then we follow the rules. And we recuse ourselves, we even have to leave the room so the regular board can discuss that issue. So that's the process.
Thank you.
We are required to recuse ourselves. And there is a process after that recusal for reconstituting the board to make decisions. And that's a FPPC approved process.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. All right. The next question is going to be directed at Mr. Kraus. Will the cost of the new fuel farm be passed along in increased fuel pricing over the next 30 years of depreciation?
I'm not sure we can pay for the fuel. Well, 30 years is a long time, possibly. I haven't penciled that out. One of the things to keep in mind about fuel costs, everybody here drives a car. And you all go to the most expensive gas station to buy your gas, right? Pilots do the same thing. We bring business into the airport by having competitive fuel prices. They're not the cheapest, we're not losing money, but they're competitive and that draws in business. People go elsewhere, pilots go elsewhere just like cars would, automobiles would. So, we always look at the cost of fuel and the market value of fuel and the competitiveness of it, and whether they will pay for the fuel farm over the next 30 years, I'd have to have an accountant work that out.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Baker.
There's several issues that you have to look at concerning the fuel farm. Our existing fuel farm is antiquated. It doesn't pass the air quality management district specifications. we've been trying to do something with our fuel farm for 6 years. Our initial thought was to renovate the existing one, but that didn't pan out. It didn't pencil out. So, as far as paying for it, no, it's not going to happen. It's going to take quite a while to do that. But I believe that environmental controls are far more important. Protecting our critical water source, protecting our lake, recapturing spilled fuel. I think those are the things that really need to be considered as far as what is the impact on the valley. And I think those are very critical issues.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Costa?
Yeah. The fuel farm was a mandatory thing that needed to be done. And the main reasons what I saw was too close to the terminal building, number one. So now that it's out there, it's better, more access for bigger planes and people. Holds more fuel, so you can buy the fuel cheaper when it comes in tanker loads instead of half tanker loads. Number two, the fuel, in my opinion, should be sold for cost plus what it takes to operate it, because it brings the people here, whether they buy lunch or walk through the village or go there, it brings them here. And like anything, if you bring people to places, all the other people want to come. So it's a good service to the airplane community and the flyers, plus the storage capacity is, if I remember, I think it's about triple. So they have for inclement weather, they'll have fuel stored out to worry about trucks not getting up here. It's a benefit all the way around, and I think the FAA paid for about 95% of it, didn't they? I thought they did. Somebody told me, I'll have to check into that. But I mean, all the way around, it was probably one of the best decisions in years.
Thank you. Would anyone else? Ms. Lindstrom?
The advantage we have at Big Bear Airport with the fuel is it is a competitive price, and a pilot coming in from anywhere and crossing over Big Bear can land at Big Bear at altitude and doesn't have to climb back up and out to continue on his journey. So if you have a competitive price, they will stop and bring value into this airport.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer? Thank you. The next question is going to be directed at Ms. Lindstrom. If you are elected to a seat on the board, what do you consider to be the most pressing issue?
In my opinion, I believe the airport and the community should try to understand one another. Should somebody have a complaint with our airport, and I think those complaints are rather few, but those people are mostly uninformed or don't have the right information. I would like to try to personally even speak to those people, provide them with the adequate information they might need to come around to our side and our way of thinking and operating.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mr. Baker.
Would you repeat the question, please?
If you are elected to a seat on this board, what do you consider to be the most pressing issue?
Education. I think education is one of the most important things that the airport can strive to accomplish. Education with the community, showing the community what a valuable asset the airport is, with our air ambulance, our firefighting resources, the training for our young men and women in the military, the Young Eagles program, the Youth Aviation program, the Cadet program. I mean, it's up to every adult, to my way of thinking, is to ensure that our youth have an opportunity to explore careers, and aviation is a very, very good career.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer? Mr. Hay?
I have to concur with Steve. It is all about education to me. I work directly with the cadets at the Civil Air Patrol, and to see the spark in their eyes and their want to get involved in aviation. This nation is in a really big hurt right now for pilots and mechanics for aviation, and there's an extremely vast community that can be served here by our community can be served by a vast knowledge base that is at the airport. from Civil Air Patrol, private pilots and other contractors and stuff, that we want to be able to have our kids hang out there and learn and stuff and be able to be informed on it, and bring the public in general and let them see the importance of our firefighting and our life-saving practices there.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. So those were the questions that we were given before tonight from the community. But as we sat here tonight, as you can see, many, many more questions came in. And we have time to answer them if you're ready to do that. Okay, this question is specifically going to be asked of Mr. Acosta, and then other people will be allowed to respond. What airport-related experience, education, knowledge do you have to justify running for airport board?
Business experience, money, financial needs of the people, needs of the valley, tourists. I mean, we are a blessed community to have an airport of this size. I wish it was bigger, but we're stuck with what we got. Unless God makes some more land. But the whole issue, which it may happen, you never know, there's a volcano on the other end of town.
Let's keep the answers
So,
to the questions.
that's what I can bring there. You know, like I said, it's no bias. I'm about as neutral as you can get. So it would be a benefit, follow all the laws on the board, make sure good things happen, and anything bad happens, stop it.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Shocker. Mr. Baker.
Repeat the question, please.
What airport-related experience, education, knowledge do you have to justify running for airport board?
I've been involved with that airport since 1995. Took flying lessons at Big Bear. Joined the Civil Air Patrol. Went through a strenuous, rigorous training program with the Civil Air Patrol. Have a business that has treated me very well. Keeping my ear close to the ground, listening to people, understanding their concerns, and trying to find a workable solution. Being able to work with other directors so we can all come to a meeting of the minds and move forward in a positive manner. I think that qualifies me as a director of the Big Bear Airport District.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. Next question. Yeah, I'm not even reading these before I get them, so if they're redundant, excuse me. Since we just asked Andy and Mr. Acosta last one, we're going to do Mr. Baker now, okay? What do you consider your priority for the airport in your term?
Financial responsibility. I think that's very, very important. We've taken steps in the past to invest money, to plan for future improvements, not relying on just a tax base to do that, and phasing things out. You know, you buy things as you can afford it. Then again, with the education thing, I think it's very, very important.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to
Mr. Hay?
I agree with Steve. It's the financing. It's very, especially with the rebuilding efforts that have been going on at the airport, that it does not get out of control. I've been in the commercial sector, in the public sector of construction, and seen where things blow up from an $8 million project to a $21 million project that lasts years instead of months for no good reason at all except for it can. So that's extremely important to myself, that finance is the most important thing on the board right now in front of me.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Krause?
I'm only looking at 2 years, so I would hope within that 2-year time that we find a solution to the terminal building. And a permanent solution to the park and the Historical Society's concerns. And then otherwise, I'm just echoing what we need to do in terms of community relations and making it more of a public use airport in terms of this wide public, not just the aviation community.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next question. So I'll ask this of Mr. Hay. Do you feel frequent censure should be used going forward as a way to control the board member who has caused such discord in the past 2 years?
That's a hard one, because it needs to be taken on end. Yeah, that is a very individual question that goes with individual personalities. There are rules and regulations that they must follow. If they break those rules and regulations, yes, then censure is probably a good way to go. But it's better to step aside and just, as a board, take a day and just sit down and discuss your issues and have a meeting of the minds instead of the headbutting and just trying to force an agenda on somebody, or have them be stifled because they may have made a mistake in the way that they stated instead of they made a mistake in the way that they stated an issue, and so they didn't present it properly.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer? Mr. Kraus?
No. All the members of the board are elected officials. We didn't put them there. They're not there by our consent. We've had some problems, and I think I'm on the record as offering a better solution to those problems, and I think it's worked. I would hope we don't come to that again. And I think by putting in place working solutions and being more cognizant of other people's issues, we'll avoid that in the future.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Baker?
When a director or a board member is censored, they still have a job. They're still an elected official. It's just a slap on the wrist is all it is. I'm not quite sure that it has any great impact, but it's the last resort. We should exhaust every effort to work together and to ensure that the people are being represented fairly and equally, and not cause dissension like we've had in the past. There's only been one director that I know of that has been censored. So like I say, it's the very last resort. Nobody likes that word, and nobody's really encouraged by using it. And there again, education, working together for a common goal called synergy.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. Next question. Yeah, we are just reading audience questions. These are not being reviewed like the other questions were. So this is a question that's kind of already been answered, but why have the hangar rates stayed the same for 15 to 20 years? Could it be that 4 or 5 directors rent them? Mr. Krause?
It's been 14 years. And there have been increases, and again, it is a repetitive question. I can't answer that because I wasn't around for those 14 years. I hear the concern about self-interest, and it's a legitimate concern, given the nature of the board, the people on the board. But again, I think it's fair to say that we're going to look at that in January. There will be a new board in January, there's partial board in January. And if there is a market-driven reason for a change, I think we have to take a hard look at it and do what should be done.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Good. Ms. Lindstrom, this will be directed at you. Would you support the Big Bear Valley County Plan Item A3, which states, the valley needs restrooms on the east side of the valley, by allowing a portable toilet in the former Big Bear parking lot?
You know, I am not privileged to all the information that is involved in that east end. I'm not sure I can adequately answer that question, but probably, from what I understand, there needs to be some kind of facility for maybe the homeless that come through there or people needing that relief.
Thank you.
I think somebody else can probably answer that better than I.
Let me guess who wants to answer. Mr. Baker.
You know me too well. The FAA is very specific on how we spend our money. it has to be for aviation-related activities. Period. Exactly. So this question has been brought to me by several people. I don't oppose it. I think there's probably a need, but we as a community are going to have to figure out just exactly how that's going to be accomplished. I don't think it's fair or correct that one agency suffer that burden. It should be a combined burden by the valley as a whole. So I'm not opposed to it. I would like to discuss it and continue on with finding a workable solution for that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. This is the last question. Do you want to defer, or do you want to? Okay. So, Mr. Acosta, you got the first question, you're getting the last question.
That's good.
They actually specified this to you.
Really? I'm so...
Did you once own airport property that was repossessed? If so, do you think that creates a conflict for you?
No. Well, let's answer that question. Did I own property adjacent to the airport? Yes, I shared the fence since 1989, North Shore. No, it was not repossessed. It was taken by the county. Yes, the bankruptcy court took it when I filed bankruptcy to get the assets back. But the court sold the property in an arm's length transaction to the airport. So there's no animosity between me and the airport, and you'll be reading it, probably not in the Big Bear paper, but you'll be reading it in federal court pretty soon against the county. My problem's not with the airport, it never was. I was the airport's best ally. I solved a lot of problems on the North Shore side, including installing a 7-foot diameter pipe under my property to stop the flow of material going into the airport. So I have no problems with any of that. There is no conflict. If that person would like to talk to me, I have plenty of time. Give me a call.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to respond to that question? Mr. Baker? Thank you. Well, that concludes this evening's forum, and I want to thank all of you for being here and also just for your willingness to serve this community. We're going to ask each one of you to give a closing statement, and I'll start with Mr. Acosta.
Thank you very much. So, I got a minute?
You got a minute.
Okay.
Nope, 57 seconds.
57, I keep counting.
Sorry.
I'm
Go ahead.
running for the board as I did in the past, and I'd like to try being a civil servant to help everybody on the board achieve the goal that they've all talked about here. I haven't heard anything bad tonight. Everything's good. Transparency, the biggest key thing. Financial responsibility is the second biggest thing. One biggest thing that I would like to see, I'd like to see all the rents in the airport lowered down to get more people in there, create a little community there, no vacancies. Get the restaurant back up and running, get the place where it's a thriving community where people want to go there. I'd like to be a part of that on the board. It only takes 3 of us to vote. I think there's 3 people on this table here that feel the same way about making that airport an attractive, viable source so it doesn't end up a little ghost town, and keeping it transparent so people aren't mad. About, hey, this is the way the money's being spent. Well, here it is right here, black and white. But if I get elected, I will give you my integrity, my honor to run the board, and transparency is my big thing.
Thank you. Mr. Baker?
Thank you. I'm a dedicated, experienced leader committed to the success of the Big Bear Airport. I've had the distinct honor of serving 2 terms in office, 2 years as president of the board, currently serving as vice president. I have served on the airport development, finance, airfare, and rental lease committees. I am dedicated to the Big Bear Airport District mission statement by providing a safe, efficient, and superior venue for aviation operations. Representing Big Bear Valley, I shall use my experience and commitment to ensure that the airport is a reliable asset to the citizens of Big Bear Valley. I realize the importance of the continued success, education programs, and future growth of the airport. I would be honored once again to represent the citizens of Big Bear Valley. Your vote would be greatly appreciated. And thank you for attending. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Mr. Hay, can you have your closing statement?
Yes, I'm honored to sit up here with these people. They're all dedicated community leaders. And you see Wes, Mary Kay, and George. I mean, we all have community in heart. My big thing is financial responsibility, controlling construction costs, and education of the public, especially our kids. I mean, we have a facility that can really spark a lot of imagination in our children with STEM programs and just getting out there and getting hands-on Young Eagle, Civil Air Patrol, the fire department, and everything that we do out there. There's always been an open bridge there. I mean, you come into the office anytime during business hours and ask a question, they'll find a person that can lead you out to the airport and take you around and teach you that sort of thing. And I want to see that continue to grow at our airport and in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Krause?
I was appointed to the board 17 months ago, and I believe I've been a stabilizing influence since that time. I'm looking for a 2-year term. I want to finish what I started. My goal for the board is simply to advance general aviation activities at our airport in every way that will benefit the future of the airport, general aviation, and that's consistent with what the community feels that our airport should be, what the needs are of this community and what you would live.
Thank you. Ms. Lindstrom?
Mercier is now based at Big Bear Airport to transport you or a loved one where you need to go now. I have watched our airport grow, accommodating small jets, much improved facilities for those visiting, bringing revenue and goodwill into this valley. When roads are hazardous or closed, when valley access is compromised, if fire threatens our valley, the airport is accessible. It is a staging and communication center for the big tankers and firefighting equipment. It is a high-altitude training center for the military. It is a gateway into the valley when all other avenues are restricted. This airport contributes greatly to the growth, prosperity, and safety of our community. It is vital. I am qualified, fair, strong, intelligent, have excellent people skills. I understand aviation and business, and will work with this airport to make one of which the community is proud.
Thank you. Mr. Mazzacane, would you like to give us a closing
I
statement?
certainly would.
Thank you.
I would tell you folks, it was not my intention to come here tonight to waste your valuable time. My intention was to stress how important this election is. I feel that the airport board of directors is at a crossroads, and this is a very, very critical election. I came here to address the elephant in the room. And if you folks are not sure of what I mean, what I allude to by that, I ask that you would bring yourself up to speed, and I think that would not be a very difficult choice. And so I'm here to ask for your vote, a sensible vote, and it'll be best for the airport, it'll be best for Big Bear. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank all of you for being here, and thank you to the audience for participating tonight. This was a very good turnout. I also want to thank the Chamber, our Executive Director, he's wonderful, and all of the Chamber volunteers that are here tonight as well. Please plan to attend the next forum on Thursday, October 18th, also here at 5 o'clock. The October 18th forum will host candidates from the CSD, the hospital, and the Bear Valley Unified School District boards. Please, please encourage your friends, coworkers, and family members to attend. Good night, and drive or fly safely home.